Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's McMo64, and this week we are here with probably the largest thing that's going to happen in the Rocket League community of this year, maybe even the next for that matter. We have a few roster changes, and then we're going to go over the results of DreamHack Montreal, and then Rocket League Olympics. Before we start, let me just say we're getting closer and closer. Just 10 more subscribers until I do my Black Market giveaway. To enter, please join my Discord server for more information. These items are for PC only, and there will be 2 winners. And let's get into the video. First off, we have Lethamir. So last week this happened right after I posted my roster changes and news video. So I put it in the comments and I pinned it. For those of you who didn't see in the comments or at DreamHack Montreal, Lethamir is the coach for Mouse Sports. And he says, happy to announce I'll be coaching these guys for the upcoming season. Looking forward to working with them and where my career goes after this season, either pro or coach. Congrats to the boys. Be sure to watch them this weekend. And we see on Wikipedia, Mouse Sports has a lot Speed and Cooks here as players and Lethamir as the coach. And now we have Team Pushing Gaming. We have By Mateos, who used to be the sub for Barcelona, joining the squad. Currently they have 4 players, and it does not specify which one is the sub, so I'm not sure about that. But we have these other 3 players with By Mateos, and with the most recent of the roster changes being something we all expected to happen, they have announced. The Chiefs tweeted the return. Welcome back, Drippe RL, to the Chiefs Rocket League team. Time to get to work. And they also said, our starting roster for RL Esports RLCS Season 8 is as follows: CJ, Express, and Drippe. We want to thank Super Sub Hawk for his amazing performance in the DreamHack Montreal qualifiers and main tournament. You have a very bright future ahead. And Drippe responded, excited to be back representing Chiefs. Looking forward to competing with the boys CJ, and Express. And on Wikipedia, we can see that on September 13th, Drippe has joined the team, as well as Zen as their substitute. And now on to DreamHack Montreal. So I'm just going to show day 3 since there were so many awesome matches. And I'm sorry I didn't do a highlights video. I've been super busy this week, and I will be super busy next week as the first round of tests are coming around for my classes. But here are the results of DreamHack Montreal, with a huge upset of the Dark Horse team in day 3 being the Peeps, defeating G2 Esports 4-3. It was insane, so if you guys didn't watch it live, you should go back and watch the Twitch VOD. And now on to Rocket League Olympics. So, on September 11th, the Esports Observer tweeted, the 500K Intel World Open will bring Rocket League and Street Fighter to Tokyo 2020 as an Olympics tie-in. We speak with Botnik, Psyonix Studios, and Capcom USA about the announcement. These tournaments aren't technically Olympic events, but they're tie-ins with the Olympics, and I'm not sure if Intel is providing all the money or if it's partially sponsored by the Olympics as well, but either way, this is a huge step for Rocket League and esports in general, and maybe we'll even see video games as official events in the next Olympics. And if we look at the responses to this, we see Rocket League Esports said nation-based teams, best players in the world, Intel World Open hype, bring on 2020. And a bunch of notable Rocket League community members responded to this. And looking at the tweet by Intel Gaming, they say the best Rocket League players will go head-to-head for the whole world to see, starting with the Intel World Open leading up to the Tokyo 2020. And they have a nice video showing a bunch of scenes from Rocket League esports events throughout the years. And they have an article here. They say Intel technology propels Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 into the future. In collaboration with partners, Intel will bring world-class technology and experiences to Olympic fans around the globe. And we have a picture with a bunch of Intel people and probably Olympics people. Say today, Intel announced that it is partnering with the International Olympic Committee, or the IOC, the Tokyo Organizing Committee of the Olympic Games, and a broad array of partners to drive the future of the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 with groundbreaking technology. Intel's successful collaboration with the Pyeongchang 2018 Olympic Games has fueled its drive to raise the bar again in 2020 for how technology will innovate the Olympics. And basically they just go through the technology and esports and all the features of the partnership between Intel and the Olympics. And then if we go to the article by the Esports Observer, they say Olympics backed $500K Intel World Open ties into 2020 Tokyo Games with Rocket League and Street Fighter V. And they say the International Olympic Committee and worldwide sponsor Intel have teamed up to announce the Intel World Open, an esports competition that will take place in the run-up to the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, Japan. The Intel World Open will feature Rocket League and Street Fighter V competitions in partnership with Psyonix / Epic Games and Capcom, respectively, with $250,000 awarded for each tournament for a grand total of $500,000. Intel and the IOC will host the World Open Finals at Tokyo's Zepp Diver City venue from July 22nd to 24th, 2020, with the Olympics themselves kicking off on July 24th. Online qualifiers will allow anyone from the participating countries to compete for a chance to be named to his or her national team, with a live qualifying event to be held in Katowice, Poland, in June to determine which teams will ultimately compete in Tokyo. ESL, of which Intel is a global technology partner for competition brands including the Intel Extreme Masters, will handle production for the World Open. The World Open represents an evolution in the partnership between Intel and the IOC, who previously teamed up to hold the Intel Extreme Masters (IEM) Pyeongchang ahead of the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea. That competition was solely focused on Blizzard Entertainment's StarCraft 2 and was only streamed to viewers, while the Intel World Open will have a live audience in Tokyo. Mark Subotnick, Intel's Director of Business Development for Games and Esports, said that Tokyo is an ideal location to kick off this new competition format, even beyond the obvious association with the 2020 Summer Olympics. This is a new tournament, and it's meant to celebrate our values, being open and welcoming to anyone in alignment with the Olympics, he told Esports Observer. There really is no better host country for us to kick this off in than Japan. It's the first place for the Intel World Open, and it has an extremely rich history in gaming. We're honored to be able to add to this bright future of esports in Japan. Producing this as a large-scale global event, it requires a lot of commitment, a lot of collaboration, and a lot of partners. We're lucky enough to have two amazing partners for 2020. And for choosing games, they said Rocket League and Street Fighter V are very different games, but in the world of esports, they're two of the most easily understandable titles to watch. Psyonix's Rocket League, now under the Epic Games umbrella following the recent studio acquisition, is just soccer with cars, albeit cars with rocket boosters that can drive along walls and soar through the air. And Street Fighter V builds on the series' decades-old lineage with straightforward melee action and large health bars to indicate the state of the match. When we're working with the IOC and working on something like the Intel World Open, we're really looking for the broadcast audience and the most accessibility, and these two titles really lead well for that. These two titles are something that the average consumer or audience member can look at and get what's going on, and that's unfortunately not always the case in esports. So that makes a lot of sense to work with these two partners. And then they talk about the Street Fighter history in Japan and why they chose Street Fighter, and talking about Rocket League again, they say, for Psyonix, it's an opportunity to not only expose Rocket League to a potentially new and larger audience, but also to test out a national team format. According to Studio Vice President of Publishing Jeremy Dunham, the response to the Intel World Open could lead to additional kinds of competitive formats outside of the twice-yearly Rocket League Championship Series, RLCS, and other pro-level competitions. We think the fact that even though it's not an official Olympic event, it's still something, just given the nature of the event itself, which can generate a lot of excitement within the esports community itself and then also the fans, said Dunham. It's something very different. We haven't really done anything like this before, and it's something our fans have been asking for a really, really long time, to have national pride on the line whenever they're playing Rocket League. Really fast, going back to Liquipedia, we can see the only event that was similar to what's going to happen was the League of Rockets, the World Cup 2017, which had teams from all around the world, including the ones you can see on the screen now, and the size of this tournament was a lot smaller than what's happening, with the first place prize only being $3,000. And back to the article, they said, we think that this is a really good opportunity not only to showcase our skills in front of an audience that might not have ever seen Rocket League before, but also to test the waters to find out what other kinds of really cool ways people want to watch Rocket League be played outside of the traditional World Championship setup. He added, "On the whole, we can't contain ourselves. We're pretty excited about it. We think it's going to be a really big deal." And then they just talk about expanding the relationship for Intel and the Olympics and connecting that further. That's all we have for the news in this video. Let me know down in the comments what country you think is going to have the strongest team and who you think is going to be on that team. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and join my Discord server. And I will see you guys next time. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me.
What the hell are you?